On the last day of Pesach, we read a Haftorah from the book of Yeshayahu, chapter 11, which carries one of the most vivid prophecies of Moshiach and the Messianic age. In describing the persona of Moshiach, the pasuk says, "V'nach alav ruach Hashem," that a spirit of God will rest upon him, a spirit of wisdom, a spirit of understanding, a spirit of counsel, and a spirit of strength. This pasuk, which is talking about Moshiach, is employed in our prayers on the festivals. When we open up the Aron Kodesh, we say, "V'yiskayim banu mikra shekosov," that this verse should be fulfilled upon us. We take a verse that is talking about Moshiach and we say that it is relevant and applicable to each one of us. There is a sefer called Maor Centre, a Hasidic work which teaches that every single person has within them a spark of the soul of Moshiach. And that when we each reveal within ourselves that spark of Moshiach, that becomes the catalyst for the revelation of the macro soul of Moshiach, for Moshiach's arrival in the world. But what does it mean to reveal the spark of Moshiach inside of ourselves? It means that we have to live in the same way that Moshiach lives, to emulate the qualities that Moshiach expresses. One of those qualities is articulated in that Haftorah. The pasuk says, "Barichoi beyiras Hashem," that he will breathe or be fragrant with the fear of God. He will not judge based on what he sees with his eyes, and he will not rebuke by what his ears hear. Our sages explain, what does it mean that he will have a fragrance of the spirit of fear of Hashem? It means moirach vadayin, that he will judge with a sense of smell. What does it mean to judge with a sense of smell? The Frierdiker Rebbe of Lubavitch explains that usually we judge based on what our eyes see and what our ears hear. But our eyes only see the superficial. Our ears only hear reports that view the superficial. We see a person acting in a certain way, we experience certain interactions with them, and we formulate our opinions on them. We are quick to write them off based on actions that we see, based on the lifestyle choices that we see them living with, or based on the lashon hara, the slander that we hear about them. But every time a person acts, that is an expression of so much more than just that moment. Everything we do is driven by so many factors in our lives, starting with our birth and our upbringing, our family, our education. Each person has their own Yetzer Hara, their own challenges and inner struggles that they need to overcome, their social group, their peer influences. If we only judge by the actions that we see and that we hear about, it's very quick to castigate a person. But we don't appreciate what may have led them down that track, what may have been driving them to act in a certain way. And therefore we cannot judge them in a truly righteous manner with empathy and being done the kavschus to judge them favorably. That is the quality of Moshiach, that he will smell out and sniff out that deeper reason that lies behind what a person does. And that starts with the premise that every single person has within them a godly soul which is pure and incorruptible. Everyone wants to do the right thing. Everyone wants to live in accordance with what God wants from them. If we see that they're not acting in a way which is in accordance with that, that is the aberration. That is not their true self. That is not their defining quality. Their defining quality is their inner goodness. And that is something which has to be sniffed out. It's not something which we can always perceive with our eyes or hear with our ears. So when we approach a fellow Jew in that way, with a belief in their goodness, and judging them with our sense of smell, and understanding and empathy of what may have led them to act in a certain way, then we can judge them in a righteous manner, in a manner that Moshiach will ultimately judge the world and humanity at large. And when we each actualize that quality of Moshiach inside of ourselves, then that will become the catalyst for the revelation of Moshiach in the world and the return of all of Jewish people back to our holy land. And then we'll experience the ultimate revelation of godliness when the soul of every Jewish person will become accessed and realized and revealed and expressed in their lives.